having the ability to what Sherri and I used to be able to go everywhere together, be everywhere together. She's not only my wife, she's my best friend, and we never were apart. We do better together than we do apart.
I was working in San Antonio and he was out there. I don't know why they decided to put my desk right in front of the men's restroom, and they were all walking by. And everybody would always talk to me except for Jim. And I would ask my boss, I was like, well, who is he? He was like, he owns the company. I was like, owner of the company? Why is he out there digging a ditch?
She actually worked for one of my customers. She helped manage a shop in San Antonio. And I remember meeting her there and thinking to myself, that's the most beautiful woman I've ever laid my eyes on.
Probably 2 or 3 weeks of saying hello, hello. He finally answered with hello, and we just became really, really good friends. We would talk maybe once a week and he would just laugh. I thought at that time I was pretty funny, but it became, of course, more than, he's pretty special.
We actually got married in Las Vegas at the National Miles Rodeo because we raised bucking bulls together and started out as being a friend, turning into my best friend, and then turning into my wife, and it's just been amazing.
It was, a normal day. It was on a Monday.
January 9th, 2017, and Sherri had taken our youngest son to school.
My youngest son, he was running late for school, so I was, yelling for him to get up and hurry up and stuff. And so I started taking a different route home because I had a Jeep, and the route that we would take in the morning, it would beat me to death. It was just so bumpy in my Jeep. But
when she was returning on her way home, they're about a mile away from home, our car load of illegal aliens that T-boned her and left her for dead.
I remember my breath, like letting go. I just remember looking up and glass was going in my eyes, and my son, he was trying as hard as he could to, bend the metal to get me out. And
well, of course, first immediate thought was, is she okay? And I immediately went to the scene of the accident and learned what I learned from there. But right after that, it was revenge.
Coming to my side and telling me that I'm paralyzed. And I just told him I didn't want to live. My whole life, I worked, I took care of my kids. It changed everything. Basically took away more than half of my life. I couldn't work anymore. It was hard for me to go anywhere.
Things like that do affect families. I think the biggest challenge for us is just having people that help us with care in the house and having to adapt, have people that are not part of the family, that are part of our everyday lives.
Wow. I go places and they talk to who's ever beside me rather than talk to me, and I'm like, hey, just because my hands and my legs don't work doesn't mean that I'm not a person. You deserve the respect that everybody else gets. I played a pity party for the longest time. My kids and my family, were like, you're here. Why are you so upset? You're here with us.
But I will say that families that are affected by the illegal immigrants that pass through this border, it's something that none of us should have ever had to endure. That there's a way to coming to this country and there's a way not to coming to this country.
If we were to go to any other country, we wouldn't be able to get in. We do not want you here. Just come here legally. They wouldn't have had to run the stop sign and hit me if they were here legally.
And people, I don't think understand how ruthless they are. But how did they get here? And why did they get here? That's the root of the cause. And until we can figure out how to get a better grasp on controlling that cartel activity that's going on in Mexico, I don't think we're ever going to be out of the dramatic expense that we've had to pay to allow these people into the country.
I think there's so many people out there like me. I've heard stories before. I'm just fortunate that I have a family that have all come around me and helped me, and we can do things together as a family instead of me sitting in a nursing home.
You can't stay and trying to lay blame on everybody else. You've got to make the best of that situation, and it gets easier over time.